Hello, my name is Mike Wacker. I am the Principal Academic Officer and Director at the UMKC St. Joseph Regional Campus. I'm going to take you on a short virtual tour of our brand new state-of-the-art 22,000 square feet medical education building, which opened in 2025. The building is about a baseball throw to the brand new Mosaic Hospital Clinical Office building and about a golf tee shot to the main hospital where our students conduct their clinical rotations. We also have about 5,000 square feet of educational space, including a research lab, student workstations, study rooms, a call space inside Mosaic St. Joseph Hospital. I will provide a brief overview of the new building and would like to introduce our Director of Simulation, Dr. Emily Hillman, as well as two of our Year 2 St. Joseph Campus MD students, Anna Cernich and Jay Kohler, who will guide you through the student areas. We are very appreciative of this beautiful space and the great resources we have at the St. Joseph campus. Thank you for joining us on this tour. We were able to put this video together just prior to our ribbon cutting event in August of 2025 for the building. So as you enter the building, just to the right on the wall with the monitor, we now have a map of Missouri labeled with all of our rural clinical sites that we send students to, typically from 1 to 3 months of time. These include Maryville, Albany, Carrollton, Chillicothe, Bethany, and Cameron, Missouri, as well as a location in Atchison, Kansas, right on the border. So as you continue to move through the lower level and pan around, you will be able to see that this lower level allows for admissions, recruiting events, faculty and staff support areas, conference rooms, student study spaces, a clinical classroom, and simulation space with 5 exam rooms. You will hear more about the simulation space with Dr. Hillman. We have 5 faculty and staff who work at the St. Joseph campus who have offices on this first floor. There are also copiers, poster printers for research, and fully integrated technology in each office, as well as a kitchen and dining area to support all the needs that faculty and staff have in the building. The faculty and staff include a senior recruiter and admissions officer for rural programs, an assistant dean of student success, a curriculum coordinator, a student affairs staff member, an assistant professor in the fields of anatomy and histology, a senior research associate, a program support specialist who assists with ITAV and exam proctoring, and I serve as the director and professor in the field of physiology. There are also over 140 clinical faculty members associated with the St. Joseph campus who teach our required clinical rotations as well as clinical electives. Our campus also runs a rural medical pathway program for undergraduates and a rural medical emphasis post-bac master's degree program for students desiring to matriculate to rural medical school programs, including UMKC.
This portion of the video showcases the St. Joseph Campus Simulation Center nested within the building's first floor. Here we are first showcasing our offstage entry area whereby standardized patients or SPs and center staff can enter the space ahead of events. This ensures that SPs arriving for events can enter separately from students. This room is multi-purpose and meant to serve numerous needs. Firstly, as an off-stage preparatory area for SPs before events, also as a space for SP case training, simulation team meetings. Lastly, it can be adapted for small group student events as the center volume increases. There is also ample storage, a place for SPs to place their belongings, and food for full-day events, and a dedicated washer and dryer for laundry to support the suite. The same simulation team supports events at both UMKC School of Medicine campuses. This ensures student support, operating policies and procedures, and expert support for event design and execution is provided at both sites. Next, we continue in our offstage corridor, and you can see here an SP entry to each simulated outpatient exam rooms. SPs will enter and exit rooms via this offstage corridor, so SPs and students do not need to cross paths directly during high-stakes exams. This design represents best practice for OSCE experiences. Here is a bathroom in the offstage corridor for SPs to change and use the restroom. After we show you this, we will continue to showcase the second of the 4 patient exam rooms. All 4 rooms are identical. After each student encounter, SPs use the in-room computer to provide immediate assessment and feedback through our simulation learning management system, Elevate CAE. What you can't see is the extensive AV and IT infrastructure supporting each room, including multiple camera angles for video recording. We detour here to our multi-purpose suite that complements the 4 exam rooms. It can be used for an OSCE, or it can serve as a high-fidelity simulation suite for mannequin events. The monitors allow for simultaneous vital sign displays or labs and images for a high-fidelity experience. Here we are going into our on-stage or student side corridor. Here you can see each room has a student computer for student simulated note documentation after each patient encounter. Then we will show you our 3rd and 4th outpatient exam rooms. Again, they are all identical. The CAE cloud-based platform is used at all UMKC School of Medicine SIM centers to ensure a consistent experience and standardized assessment practices. OSCEs can be replicated at any location. Our DORO is a great example. CAE enables also data analysis to verify that grading is equitable across campuses. This center is one of many in the building, used year-round to support the clinical practice of medicine. Events include small group physical exam and history practice, as well as skills workshops for Harvey, cardiac exams, breast and pelvic exams. Next, you can see our AV control room that allows our staff to supervise events. Faculty can directly observe OSCE events and evaluate learners in real time. And that was our server room. Next, we will make our way up towards the front of the center, first stopping to show you another entry point to the offstage corridor. We can store ultrasound machines in this corridor if needed. And now we'll show you the learner entry to the simulated exam suite. Next to the entry is our multi-purpose room that will serve as our pre-briefing and debriefing space. Debriefing is one of the most essential components of simulation-based education, where learners sit with faculty to reflect and discuss key learning points. The room is also adaptable for procedural training with movable desks and flooring to accommodate task training, fluids, and for procedures. Thank you for visiting the Sim Lab.
Hi there, my name's Anna Cernich.
And I'm Jay Kohler.
And we're both second-year students, hoping to give you a student's perspective of this upstairs space in the building. For some background, I'm from Parkville, Missouri, and I'm interested in pediatrics.
And I'm from Columbia, Missouri, and interested in internal medicine. So thanks for joining us on this tour. Okay, now we're heading into the common space. This is where students like to hang out before and after class, take study breaks, and eat meals. In this space, we just recently had match day, so we celebrated our recent graduates and their matches to their new residency programs that they'll start in July. We also plan to have white coat over the summer in this space as well. We have 2 TAs in the spring semester that will sit in this space and be available to answer questions for students when needed.
We have these big TVs too that you can see, and so a lot of the times we'll be able to put sports on there, a movie, something like that, and then when people can gather in the common space, they can watch that. March Madness was our most recent one. That was fun. So it's kind of just a nice space for everybody to be able to gather, have some camaraderie, get to know each other. You'll see too here is our individual study bubbles, and so there's 6 of those total of the smaller individual ones, 3 on this side and then 3 on the other hallway. And those are highly coveted. They're really nice. They're soundproof and standing desks that you can see in there. And so those desktops hook up to the printers too, so you can print whatever you need to, do whatever you need to on those desktops. And they're just really nice spaces for the students to have.
Now we're heading to the balcony. This is a popular spot to study, especially when it's warm outside. People have coffee, have lunch, just chat between classes.
And now we'll head back through the common area to the group study hallway. And so we'll see here in a second these group study rooms. They each hold about 4 to 5 people. They have these whiteboards on the walls. And then opposite of that, they have TVs. You can hook those up to your laptop and AirPlay the laptop. And so it's really useful for studying lectures, things like that. You can see too that there's a groove on that hallway for lockers. So each student has an individual locker. As we look out the window, you'll also see, I want to point out the MERV van, the Medical Education Resource Van. That's used to go out to especially rural communities, rural education initiatives. And it has microscopes, anatomy models, TVs, presentations, everything like that we're able to do with that MERV. So that's a really cool feature too. As we go into these study spaces, one of the things that the group study rooms are used for often is, I'd like to say reviewing, but really probably more cramming before tests. And so we can put the lecture up on those big TVs, and then we can have a whole group of students in the room, being able to write things on the whiteboard, review things lecture by lecture, and kind of just go through. So they're really useful for that kind of team-based learning.
Now we're heading into the active learning classroom. This is where we have class for at the beginning of our first year of med school. So we're learning a lot of histology and anatomy. So at this point, you can't really see in the video yet, but at this point we have a lot of anatomy models and plastinates that we can learn there. We also have the anatomage table, which is a virtual anatomy resource that we'll use. You also see microscopes in there that we use for histology. And then I just want to note the tables are organized in a group setting so that we can do team-based learning and work as a group.
Now we're heading into one of our two larger lecture rooms. So this is where our class actually most recently has been learning. And so we did our pathology and neuroscience series here in the fall. And then we are currently doing our pathology 2 and our microbiology series here. And so this is the room where we all come to listen to lectures. You can see that TV in the back, and then there's a camera there in the back too. And so when lecturers come up to St. Joe several times a semester, they can also stream into Kansas City and still get that same angle of them teaching from the front with the lecture slides behind them. The ladder is no longer there, so that can be ignored. It's also a really great space for studying too, and so you can see the whiteboards on the side there, and those are often used.
Now we're heading to our second big classroom. In both of these classrooms, we have mics in the ceilings and sound systems so that when we can just start speaking and the professor in Kansas City can hear us, we don't have to pass around a physical microphone. We can just talk out loud and they can hear us.
This is our data analytics room. You can kind of see that team learning setup again. And so it's used either in curricular research projects, such as our neuroscience research project, or extracurricular research projects that students take on. They can work with our on-site St. Joe data scientist to be able to help with that. And so he hangs out there and kind of helps students be able to look through those EMRs and filter through what they need.
This is our nursing and maternity room for any of our students that are moms.
State-of-the-art bathrooms. In this hallway, we also have our food pantry that the hospitalists at Mosaic help keep stocked. And so we always have ramen, kind of the quick microwavable meals, and then a bunch of snacks available. Next, we have our student wellness room. It's a lot more decorated now than it was in this video, but the pool table is probably the most favorite, and then that's followed by the foosball. I use the piano a lot. There's a couple other students that will come in there and tinker around. Those shelves are now filled with a bunch of puzzles, a lot of books, kind of short story type of books that students can quickly read. There's a lot of games too. One of the docents here at Mosaic does Stupid Toy Tuesday, and so she always drops off all the stupid toys that she brings to the hospitalist office as well. So that's always fun too. The table is now filled with all of those. This is a great place for students to be able to hang out. Oh, my sunglasses are in that video. And it's obviously got really good windows too. That's a nice feature. And soundproof, so the students can come in here and do whatever they want, and then while everybody else gets to still study and stay focused.
Now rounding out the second floor, we have our kitchen space We have 2 large fridges, a big vending machine, a microwave. We've filled this space with multiple coffee makers. Up on that shelf, we've filled it with coffee mugs. And then we have those 3 large tables that students will eat lunch and dinner at.
And that's all we have for the second floor space. I think we speak for our class when we say that it's a really beautiful building and we love being able to use it.
Thanks for joining us.